Hello students, let us continue lesson number 9, soil. Today we are going to do the last part of the lesson, which includes soil erosion and also a case study. First we will learn about soil erosion. The removal of land surface by water, wind or ice is known as erosion. Plant roots firmly bind the soil. In the absence of plants, soil becomes loose, so it can be moved by wind and flowing water. Erosion of soil is more severe in areas of little or no surface vegetation, such as desert or bare lands. So, cutting of trees and deforestation should be prevented, and effort should be made to increase the green areas. What is the meaning of soil erosion? The removal of land surface by water, wind or ice is known as soil erosion. It means the surface layer of the soil or the upper layer of the soil will be moved away because of the action of water, wind or ice. It is known as soil erosion. Because of soil erosion, the fertility of the soil will be decreasing. The fertile soil will be moved from one place to another. Plant roots firmly bind the soil. The roots of the plant hold the soil particle tightly and prevent the soil from getting eroded. But in some areas, there will not be such plants, especially the surface vegetation. Surface vegetation means the grass and other creepers which grow on the surface of the soil. Such plants hold the soil particles very tightly. But in some areas like desert and in barren land means the land which is not using for cultivation. In such areas, surface vegetation will be very less. And there is more chance to have soil erosion. And many of the human activities like cutting down of trees and deforestation also leads to soil erosion. So when the soil is eroded, the fertile soil is getting lost. So we should do the measures to control soil erosion. For preventing soil erosion, the best method is to plant more trees and not to cut down trees and plants unnecessarily. So if we follow afforestation, this afforestation, afforestation is the process of making forest by planting new and more trees. By following afforestation and preventing deforestation. Deforestation is cutting down of trees. So we should follow afforestation and we should stop deforestation. And we should grow more and more trees and plants. By that, to certain level, we can control soil erosion. Now we will see a case study which is given about a potter. See, John, Rashida and Radha went to Leeladhar Dada and Santosh Malviya of Sohapur in Madhya Pradesh. Leeladhar Dada was preparing the soil to make items like a surahi, matki, kalla, etc. The following is the conversation they all had with Leeladhar Dada. So three children, John, Rashida and Radha, they went to meet a potter. What's the name of the potter? Leeladhar Dada and Santosh Malviya. And they had a good conversation with the potter that is given here. So they are asking where was the soil obtained from. The children asked the question from where the potters get the soil for making the earthenwares. His answer is we brought the black soil from the piece of barren land. Barren land means the land which is not used for agriculture. How is the soil prepared? Dry soil will be placed in a large tank and would be cleaned of pebbles, etc. After removing these things, the soil will be soaked for around 8 hours. This soil would be needed after mixing horse dung. The kneaded soil would be placed on a wheel and given appropriate shapes. The final shape is given with hands. The items are colored after 3 days of drying. All the items are baked at a high temperature after drying in the air. So they described how they make the earthenwares. First, they will be collecting the black soil from the barren land. Then that dry soil will be placed in a large tank and would be cleaned of pebbles. They will place the dry sand in a large tank and will be removing sand or pebbles or any large pieces are there that will be removing out of the soil. After removing these things, the soil will be soaked for around 8 hours. After removing the waste things, they will soak the soil in water for around 8 hours. This soil would be kneaded after mixing horse dung. Then the soil will be kneading. Kneading means mixing very thoroughly to make it smooth. After mixing horse dung, they will soak the soil for 8 hours. Then they will mix horse dung with the soil. Then the mixture of horse dung and the soil will be kneaded very well. The kneaded soil will be placed on a wheel and given the proper shapes. The final shape is given with the hands. So the exact clear perfection will be given with their hands. Then the items are colored after 3 days of drying. After giving the proper shapes, they will give the final touch up with their hands. Then it will be drying for 3 days. After drying for 3 days, what they will do? They will color it or they will paint it with the different designs. Then all the items are baked at a high temperature after drying in the air. So first they will be drying for 3 days. Then they will give the color or they will do painting. After painting, again they will dry the earthenwares. Then after they will be baking the earthenwares at very high temperature in chulas. Then the children asked the question, why is horse dung mixing with the soil? During the process of making earthen boards, they told they will mix the horse dung also. So children had the doubt, why they mix the horse dung? See the reply. Burnt horse dung helps open up the pores in the soil so that water could percolate out of the matkas and surahis, evaporate and cools the water inside. So they gave the answer that if they mix the horse dung with the soil, the dried horse dung will open up the pores in the soil. So if they fill the water in such a earthenwares like a mudkas and surahi. What is surahi? Surahi is a type of earthen pottery having the long neck. When they fill the water in mudkas and such surahis, the water will be percolating through this pore. Pore means openings, holes, and that will be getting evaporated, and that evaporating water will cool down the water inside. So water kept in such a matkas and surahis will be cold. You know, Sohapuri, Surahis and matkas are famous in far off places like Jabalpur, Nagpur, Allahabad, etc. And the matkas and surahis made in this place is famous in the far off places. Okay, it's a case study, means it's a real incident which involves the conversation with the children and the potter. Okay, children, by this the lesson has completed. The next video you are going to have with a new lesson.